it's Melanie here, and I wanted to share a story of my own, a personal story about trust. So that's what we're talking about today. And this was a really pivotal moment, not just in my life, but in my husband's life and my kids' lives. And it all centered around trust. So this was years and years and years ago. I was a stay-at-home mom. My husband was working midnight, so kind of felt like I was doing it on my own. We didn't see him very often. We were in a mountain, under a mountain of debt, living in a house we couldn't afford, but it was the best school neighborhood, and of course we wanted the best for our kids. And our relationship was crappy, and I was crappy, and everything was kind of crappy. But you know what? We were holding it together. And then one day my husband came home 2:30 in the morning, woke me up and said, I got fired. And like the ground just went away. It just fell away. And what I thought was not the greatest situation very quickly became a worse situation. So in this moment, all I could think of was, what the hell are we going to do? And of course your mind starts going to planning, to figuring things out, to gaining control, the control that you've just lost. And miraculously, somehow, we caught ourselves doing that. And we decided instead to step into trust. So my husband started looking for jobs. You can't just sit there and wait for everything to fall in your lap. You have to take action as well. So he started looking for jobs, and we started sending out to the universe exactly what we wanted to call in. And he got an offer very quickly, and it didn't feel right. And it was so tempting to accept that job offer. We had zero income, zero, already in debt, getting more in debt, more in debt, more in debt every single day that passed. And it just didn't feel right. So we trusted that my husband was good enough at what he did to get a better offer. We trusted that the universe was hearing our cries for help, our prayers, if you will, to call in what we needed, and he turned it down. And then another offer came in, and it didn't feel right, and he turned it down. And another, and another. So we ended up with no income, going into that debt pile deeper and deeper for 6 months. And we agreed that we were going to trust each other and not turn on each other. We were going to trust that everything was happening for us. We were trusting that what felt like the worst thing in the moment was actually the best thing possible for us, and we were willing to follow that path wherever it took us. So we ended up having to sell our house, our big beautiful house in that perfect neighborhood, and we downsized. We had to move the kids across the city. We had to switch out school, say goodbye to their friends, say goodbye to the community that we had really grown to love and depend on. And we still didn't accept any job offers. So finally, a job offer came in that felt good. And he said yes, and he accepted it. And everything shifted. It was as if, they're all kind of saying it's not as if, it was. It was because we trusted. We trusted in our guts and our intuition and what felt right, not what was logical. That our prayers were being heard, they were going to be answered, and that even better things were coming. So the new job that my husband took, and he is still at, has been the best thing for him personally, professionally. He has experienced things he never would have experienced in his old job. He gets to travel places he wouldn't have traveled. He's happy. He loves what he's doing, and there's room for growth. The school that my girls ended up going to became so much better for them, and both of them are actually happy that they ended up where they are now. Our relationship got better, for sure. Debt, well, we sold that huge house we were living in that instantaneously took care of our debt, so we had no debt. We were living in a home that still provided everything we needed, but without that financial stress. And our new neighbors, they're not better. I'm not going to say they're better because our old neighbors were wonderful too, but they're just as wonderful and loving and supportive, and we have a great community here as well. So what could have sent us into a downward spiral of why me, what the fuck, and let's just quickly grab whatever we can, actually turned into this beautiful opportunity for growth for my husband and myself, for our children, for our family. We all got pushed so far out of our comfort zones, but we continued to root into that trust that everything was going to be better, and it was. So this is just one example in my life where trust really was everything. And I'm going to challenge you today and going forward to find ways that you can really root into your trust, the trust in your heart, in your intuition, in your soul speak, the trust in the people around you, those relationships you've invested in. Trust that the universe always has your back, even, especially when it feels like you've been dropped and left behind. So take some time to think about that, journal about it, send me an email, let me know what's going on, post on Facebook or on Instagram. I'd love to hear how you're going to root into trust, or maybe where you could use some support around going into trust. It is one of the most precarious and most difficult things to do, but it's also, in my experience, the most rewarding. So thanks for joining me. Have a great day.